Stop using heavy, clunky mugs that weigh you down and spill everywhere.
I bequeath to you the opportunity to hold in your very hands this spectacular, unparalleled, magnificent, incomparable, unbelievable, indescribably great. The Leftist Tears hot or cold tumbler. Until you hold it in your hand, you will never be able to understand the glories of it. The heft, the weight.
It's modeled after the exact same tumbler owned by Abraham Lincoln.
It automatically refills every time Donald Trump makes a speech.
This is actually in the Sistine Chapel, right when God is leaning over to, give Adam his humanity. Actually in his hand is this Leftist Tears hot or cold mug.
It'll grow hair on your head, only on your head.
Etched in beautiful silver from Daenerys Targaryen's dragons.
The aliens used it to build the pyramids.
Hated by Steven Crowder, beloved by the public.
It's indestructible.
This will survive the apocalypse. There are rumors, unconfirmed, that it is made from Valyrian steel. It can, in fact, kill White Walkers. It was with this object that man was created. It's something you'll treasure all of your days. And when you die, you'll pass it on to your children, who will treasure it all of theirs.
But wait, there's more.
The Leftist Tears hot or cold mug. You get that for $99 a year with the annual subscription.
For $100, you get the whole year subscription and the Leftist Tears tumbler.
It comes with an annual Daily Wire membership. For one easy payment of $99.99, this glorious tumbler can be yours.
Come on, it's worth it.
20 years ago, Alex Jones created the media platform called InfoWars, and in the decades since, it's grown into a truly remarkable institution with over 200 radio affiliates, tens of millions of unique website visitors monthly, and a 24/7 live news TV channel broadcasting from state-of-the-art studios in Austin, Texas. InfoWars has become the most trusted independent news source in the country, dedicated to delivering breaking news, live coverage of special events, and exclusive reports you won't find anywhere else. While the old guard media struggles to maintain supremacy in a landscape rocked by innovation and technology, InfoWars has been at the forefront of the information revolution. From 8 million radio listeners, over 2 million YouTube subscribers, or the billions of views of our online content, InfoWars proves dominant in every facet of media we enter. For the hardest-hitting reports, uncompromising analysis, for high-profile interviews and bombshell revelations, accept no substitutes. Demand truth. Demand InfoWars. InfoWars. Tomorrow's news today.
Emergency transmission from deep in the heart of Texas. U.S. resistance against a global corporate combine empowered and funded by Communist China, allied with the big mega banks that set up Communist China in 1949. The Communist Chinese have taken control of U.S. telecommunications infrastructure. The Communist Chinese have taken control of Hollywood. The Communist Chinese have taken control of the main universities. This is all confirmed. This is not a drill. Big tech in Silicon Valley is almost completely run by the Communist Chinese government. They've officially become state-run. Apple, 100%. Google is now making the transition and announcing a merger and total worldwide censorship. They are now beta testing using me as the straw man, a demonized version of Alex Jones, to do that. This is happening. This is not like the other probes before that were meant to get you used to probes and censorship, thinking you would adapt to censorship by just putting up with it. Now this attack is thousands and thousands and thousands of times the magnitude of all previous attacks. This is a titrated dose, reverse psychological warfare operation using adapt and overcome subversion paradigm manipulation. In layman's terms, they are manipulating the fact that we adapt to being oppressed. We adapt to being pressed at the low dosages of oppression. Now, when the megaton hits us of the total takeover, we try to adapt to the poison infusion instead of not knowing it's a lethal dose if we accept the dose. Total Internet of Things integration, global social score, complete command and control system. It is the virtual reality AI weapon system now attacking the United States with traitors inside the major security agencies, blocking Trump's resistance of the program and attempting to stop us from removing the tentacles of the Chi-Com/Big Tech banking combine emergency situation. I have been chosen for destruction because I brought you this information and have been ramming it out as much as I can. They want to double use me, as they always do in any complex system of mathematical deception, where every angle of my good is turned against us. So they take what I've said, being sincere, build me into an insincere person in the straw man. I'm a person that cares about life and children and is against these wars. And so they make me a herder of children. And then they build me into this lie to then set the distraction while they're actually censoring all of you to make a debate about Alex Jones. So even if I didn't sell out to them, they now use me as an archetype to serve them by being the main distraction. I have now been captured by the enemy in the information warfare fulcrum and is being used against you. Only your full understanding of this key will break you free from this paradigm. I have given you the transmission. Now break free.
I have sworn upon the altar of God, eternal hostility. You are the resistance.
Recently, many of the biggest tech companies joined in a coordinated effort to censor content from broadcaster Alex Jones.
They're never going to remove him. That's crazy. That's too far.
This isn't about Alex Jones. This is about freedom.
Trump's election and Alex Jones's popularity are merely symptoms of a corrupt and failed status quo.
You have about 800 million followers. That's why you're banned.
Social media censorship.
Virtually every day, the big tech companies censor someone else whose political opinions they disagree with.
Facebook censored our free speech, and shame on the ones that don't even see that we have been censored.
For many on the left, the view seems to have become that if you can't beat them, prevent them from speaking.
They've broken their algorithm to try to steal this election.
And now they're down to the last corners of the internet. Oh no, conservatives can speak to one another. We must shut it off.
People know what's true. They can smell it. You can't stop them from knowing that.
You're watching live coverage from RJD News. Thank you for contributions from viewers like you.
But with enormous and enduring gratitude to have had the opportunity to serve the country I love.
And as we come on the air right now, we're getting reports of tornadoes on the ground, tornadoes hitting all day. This is nearly 43 million Americans travel this holiday weekend.
We want to have protection. The Middle East, we're going to be sending a relatively small number of troops, mostly protective, and some very talented people are going to the Middle East.
Good morning. Theresa May just resigned. There's flood warnings all over the United States, and especially in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Residents are scared that the Arkansas River is going to ruin their homes. Also, President Trump visited Alaska on his way to Japan for a state event. And also, Trump is talking about putting 1,500 troops in the Middle East because of tensions with Iran. But welcome to another episode of RJD News this morning, and we're gonna have a lot to do today. Good morning. People living in the United Kingdom, British leaders, and the international community feel sorry for Theresa May, who on Friday said she will be stepping down as British Prime Minister early June after failing to deliver on Brexit.
So much to be optimistic about. I will shortly leave the job that it has been the honour of my life to hold. The second female Prime Minister, but certainly not the last. I do so with no ill will, but with enormous and enduring gratitude to have had the opportunity to serve the country I love.
I feel really sorry for her because it was a really difficult mandate for her to execute. So it's an impossible task that she did to the best of her ability. So I'm sad in that sense, but then you look at the reality of it and where we are, and there's still a long way to go. Yeah,
she lost the plot months ago. She just was being completely unrealistic. I don't know, she just seemed to have convinced herself. I don't know, maybe she just looked in the mirror and said everything's okay, but she was deluded.
I feel sorry for her, really. I think she got a bit of a bum deal, really. She got lumbered with a job that no one wanted, and I think it was a bit harsh on her, really, but what can you say?
Well, I feel desperately sorry for Theresa and for Philip. I mean, she worked incredibly hard. She's a dedicated public servant, and I know what it feels like when you come to realise that your leadership time has finished, that the country needs a new leader, and it's extremely difficult and painful to step outside Downing Street and to say those things. Well, I know that she will feel extremely frustrated, as I think many of us feel frustrated, that ultimately the people who most wanted Brexit in the end wouldn't vote for it. And as she said today, in the end you have to compromise in politics. Compromise is not a dirty word. You have to, you can't always get exactly what you want, and it's a shame that people couldn't see that.
Yes, we want to prevent a no-deal Brexit, and we will do everything in Parliament to prevent a no-deal Brexit. But the reality is, a new Conservative leader isn't going to solve the problem. There has to be another opportunity for the people of this country to decide who they want to be in their government. Yes, because she clearly cannot command a majority in Parliament. She clearly has lost the confidence of her own MPs, and in all the discussions she's been having with her MPs, they've all said one thing to her, that they don't support her strategy.
Ja, das ist eine Entscheidung, die muss sie treffen. Für uns ist wichtig, dass es endlich eine positive Entscheidung in London gibt für einen geordneten Brexit.
Theresa May tira finalmente la toalla precisamente porque ha comprobado que el acuerdo pactado que ha negociado su gobierno con la Unión no tiene ninguna posibilidad de ser aprobado por el Parlamento británico. El Brexit duro parece en estas circunstancias una realidad casi imposible de frenar.
U.S. President Donald Trump has greeted U.S. troops in Alaska on Friday while on his way to a state visit in Japan. Trump shook hands and signed caps for the service members on the tarmac at Joint Base Ermendorf in Anchorage. Air Force One stopped there to refuel before it continued on to Tokyo, where Trump is set to be welcomed by Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. President Donald Trump announced on Friday that the U.S. would send 1,500 troops to the Middle East as a protective measure after a breakdown in relations with Iran.
We want to have protection. The Middle East, we're going to be sending a relatively small number of troops, mostly protective, and some very talented people are going to the Middle East right now, and we'll see what happens. It'll be about 1,500 people.
A traffic jam of climbers in the Everest death zone was blamed for 2 or 4 new deaths reported Friday, heightening concerns that the drive for profits is trumping safety on the world's highest peak. Here's our last story. Flooding threatens Memorial Day travel across the U.S. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, residents scrambled to protect their property from the Arkansas River. First responders saved the man trapped in his vehicle for more than 8 hours.
Tonight, millions of Americans are on the move, and so are dangerous storms. A tornado touching down southwest of Peoria, Illinois. This massive twister in the Texas Panhandle Thursday. Blinding dust storms, too. Winds gusting over 70 miles per hour. More than 100 tornadoes in 8 states reported this week, even as far east as Maryland. This as crews race to restore power in Jefferson City, Missouri, after that EF3 twister there.
If you look at this area, it's total devastation of our electrical system, for a fairly large area.
In Oklahoma, rivers at major flood stage after days of relentless rain. Our Marcus Moore is there.
And this is the swollen Arkansas River here in Tulsa. You can see the massive amounts of water rushing by, and that's sending people downstream scrambling to protect their homes and property.
The Tulsa County Sheriff's Office using high water vehicles and boats searching for residents who may be trapped. People like Sonny Wormser evacuating, fearful their homes will flood next.
I feel it in my stomach. It makes me sick.
In Braggs, Oklahoma, this power plant completely surrounded by water. This as we're learning of an incredible rescue in southeast Kansas. First responders saving a man trapped in his vehicle for more than 8 hours Wednesday.